Okay, so anyway, thank you very much, both of you. I mean, you people have got so much to talk about. It's so difficult to get what all you have accomplished in just few sentences. I know what they had to go through to just write what they wrote. So anyway, the topic today, what is our topic today? Our topic today is entrepreneurial journey, the roller coaster ride. Can I have the slide on, if you don't mind? Thank you. So, I need you all to understand one small little thing. First, let me all hear the BNI's applause. Come on, guys. Little more noise. Thank you. See, Sanjana, how much noise the BNI can make, huh? Okay, so, we are talking about the roller coaster ride. Now, what exactly is the roller coaster ride? It is exactly like business. I need you people to understand this. How is it like business? Number one, if you actually see, the roller coaster itself is an idea which a person comes with and says, that is my idea, I want to implement it. When you sit down in the roller coaster, the first thing they do is they put onto you safety, right? Now in business, what is that safety? That safety can be your advisor, your mentor, your critic, your friend, etc., etc. That's when the roller coaster starts going up slowly. When it goes all the way to the top, that is when you are getting your strategies in place. And on the top, when it touches the top, you know how it is. Exactly, it leaves you all the way down. And that's when you enter the real business world. The world which is terrible, the world which is scary, the world which has got its ups, its downs. And finally, the funny part is, you go all the way around and you come back to the starting, right? Is everybody with me? Yes. Okay. So when you come back to the starting, you have this feeling that now I've automated my process. You know what? Everything is automated. Now I am free to go. But surprisingly, as soon as you come and you say, let me remove my safety, you have another guy standing as a new mentor and saying, stop it. You got bigger aims. Go higher. That is how roller coasters are. That is how it's implemented in business. So starting with that, I think we'll start the topic with all of you. Okay, number one, just a few points for the audience. It'll be very fast-paced, so please write down whatever you want. If you have any questions, please note it down on your cell phones so that we can ask at the end of it. For the speakers, please try to help me be as crisp and as small as possible in your talk. The longer you go, the more difficult it will become for me. And the second thing is, we will have 3 parts. The first part is a Q&A. That is where we sit and we talk. We have a small session. The second part is, there will be a rapid fire round. Each one of you will be given only 3 minutes, not more than 3 minutes. None of you know the questions. So after that, how many other questions you can answer in 3 minutes, we'll do that. And last but not least, I think the crowd would be love to ask you. So let's start off. Okay. So, Mr. Jeevan, you can please take your mics. Please, all of you, please take your mics. It becomes easy. Are all the mics functioning? Super. Excellent. Great. So, Mr. Jeevan, it's like this. First of all, when I met you in the evening, I was a little scared. I did tell Pat. I said, Pat, I really do not know what Mr. Jeevan does. It's quite scary. Until I sat with you and spoke to you. So, can you please tell all of us, what is the process or method for listing?
Oh, thank you. And good morning to all of you. Good morning. Thank you. So everybody, so what's listing? Listing is a place, it's a marketplace where a company can get global exposure.
Okay.
I'm saying global because you have institutional investors who are across the border, who are able to see how you perform and have an investment opportunity when they invest in your shares. So that is listing. It also means that you have access to public funds. So as a regulator, what regulator tries to do is that if you are accessing public funds, we try to put in first some kind of eligibility criteria or some kind of provisions which say what mode or what manner you would be able to access public monies.
Okay.
That's the long and short of what listing means. For an entrepreneur or for a company that approaches a stock exchange for listing, the main thing that it keeps in mind is first, what are the laws for transparency meant for investors, and what corporate governance that you would have as a company or a startup. Apart from that, the listing provides you channels to raise funds as and when you need, because once you are listed, you can continue to tap the same investors that you're already with you.
Right.
And that gives you your VC investors also an exit opportunity. So you are always good for liquidity and otherwise. So that's how listing is. So it's not something that one should be afraid of. So that we'll try to demystify listing as we go.
I understand. It's after you get listed, that's when the scary part starts.
It starts.
Oh, okay, yes.
That. We'll try to demystify
I understand.
that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Anish, I know I asked you permission from calling you from Wing Commander, but Anish, first of all, I am in love with that word called Chief Delivery Officer. What a word. As soon as I said CDO, I'm like, there's something very new I've heard. So can you tell us, what is it exactly that the CDO does? Because your designation is so vast to explain, it's very difficult for me to get an understanding of it.
I think. Check. Yeah, so CDO, we changed our ideology a year ago, right?
Okay.
And initially we were an incubator, right? And we changed our ideology to saying that we are a service provider now.
Okay.
Right? Which means what we do is we want to provide service to the startups.
And what was it before this?
Before that it was an incubator. Typically an incubator, what they do is they select a few startups, they help them, they pick up some equity, help them out to become successful. So we changed our model to saying that we don't want to do the selection process.
Right.
We want to be agnostic, we want to be an open architecture. Where we want to support any startup who wants any kind of support.
Right.
So we started looking at startups as our clients.
Okay, so more personalized.
It is more personalized, it is more of a service environment.
Okay.
So typically a CDO is in charge of delivery of that service.
Right.
So it is like a chief operation officer's role.
Right.
But typically a chief operation officer's role also includes the business element, which is the sales element, the BD element.
Okay.
So the BD element is not there. Minus that will be the chief delivery officer.
Okay.
So typically around 70% of the org, all operations roll up to me. All projects, programs, initiatives, all kind of services that we provide to our startups. So typically around 70% of the T-Hub org rolls up to me in terms of, so anything which goes wrong at T-Hub, you know who to blame.
Yes, I know. But you have a very beautiful office, I must say. A very beautiful office.
And thanks to the government of Telangana.
Thank you. So Manisha. Okay. I think we need another mic here. There's one. That's fine? Okay. Super. So Manisha, there are a lot of moments and choices that have shaped you in this journey, from a government school to Infosys Center Head. I mean, it is unbelievable. You're truly an inspiration for not only me, but so many here. So what were the moments or the choices you had to go through to come to this? Must have been quite tough for you.
Yes.
Check.
You know now what you do. Okay. So yeah, it has been very, very interesting. But then I had a choice to continue the routine life, or I take charge of my life and say, it's one life which I have and I want to make the most out of it. And that's what I did. And that's where things started happening and things changed.
So when was this? When exactly did this happen?
Oh, this was year 2000.
In the year 2000.
Yes.
So now, so every day must be a new dimension for you. A new level you have to keep on going up and up and pushing yourself.
I like to take challenges and I like to create my own challenges. So I'll always try to get something which excites me. Like right now, I started working on CSR. Now I think it's phase in my life.
Okay, a lot of CSR, right.
So first I did CSR, then I did personal social responsibility. And when I got this confidence that yes, I can really do it, then I have taken responsibility to manage CSR projects across Infosys campuses. Like we have 14 campuses.
Right.
You drive CSR across 14. So it was not needed. I could have easily enjoyed my life as is, but we need to keep ourselves motivated and do something.
I must tell you a very big secret behind Infosys. Our business, we are into resorts. You'll be surprised if I tell you, as soon as Infosys opened their campus, people started realizing it's better to have conferences in-house. So, so Infosys was one of the first people who end up putting the concept of having something in-house in nature, is what I remember. That's nice. Thank you very much. Sanjana.
As crisp as possible.
Pardon me?
You said be crisp.
Yes, I know. Sanjana, what led you from a BNI member to the executive director level? overseeing networking and business for almost 2,600 members. Of course, 200 members here. But what is it? We're shuffling the mics.
Hello.
Yes.
Right. What can I say? What led, I think, for something to begin, something has to end. And that's how I was led to this. It was not out of choice,
Okay.
but out of a situation where I was put into this shoe of the executive director of BNI Hyderabad.
Right.
So I think our families always tell us that do not see that the glass is half empty. You know, there's
Look at it
always
as
an opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yes.
And I'm sure
It's a glass half full.
half full, right?
Half.
And I'm
So-
sure you must be very proud about where you are today.
Absolutely. And I'm sure my dad would be very proud.
I'm no doubt
Even
about
more
it.
prouder
I know your mom is here
how we
also.
have taken
Yes.
his legacy forward.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think, yeah, so that's
Super.
what happened.
Super, super, super. Biggest eco-friendly shoe brand. Why eco-friendly? I mean, it's very surprising that you've entered into that segment.
Firstly, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
I really like the energy whenever I come to a BNI meeting. I've been to many conferences, many workshops, but the kind of energy BNI drives in, far, far, far better than anybody else.
Yes.
So,
Thank you very
Great
much.
guys, great
Thank you.
no, it's a long story, but I've been given a very less time, I'll tell you. The reason is, we were two brothers, and we were in our mid-30s, you can say, midlife crisis, wherein you say that, kuch karna hai.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It's not midlife. Midlife.
So
I still haven't touched
we
midlife.
wanted to accomplish something where we can say we have created a legacy.
Right.
We were fairly successful in what we were doing. I was running an education consulting firm, traveled across the world, bored, and became a socialite. And my brother was living in US. He was there for 10, 12 years, happy with what he was doing, earning good money, but not satisfied. Because ultimately it's like there was no passion driven in what he was doing. So we decided one day, okay, we should do something innovation. And we started attending a lot of workshops, a lot of franchise exhibitions across the world. Been to
That's
many
nice.
exhibitions, trying to
Right.
explore new business ideas.
Right.
And that is when during
You came
those,
up with this.
quest. No, we didn't come up with this. In one of our European holidays, Taran, my brother, he was carrying at least 10 pairs of shoes. And when you go to Europe, you travel light, and you're not supposed
correct.
to carry extra bag, and that also with shoes.
Exactly.
So we started questioning why is it that. So he started giving me answers saying that he is a shoe fanatic. That's what I used to think. But he started giving that I don't get one pair which takes me right from the start of the day to the end of the day. I have a different formal shoe, I have a different running shoe, I have a different party shoe. I keep striving for a comfortable shoe. So that really brought about the question, and we started going deeper in this industry. It took us good 1 year to understand why this industry is, what this industry does. So back then what we did is in 2016, 2017, we traveled across the world. I picked up India because that's the most boring part of it. He picked up, since he was living in US. So he picked
Right.
up Europe and other countries where there's shoe manufacturing hubs are there. So when I went to places like Agra, Chennai, Jalandhar, I found out that the entire industry is using a lot of plastic, animal skin, synthetic, and that's not good for the environment. And the only experience we had where we were consumers of the product.
Okay.
We were consumers and shoe lovers. We said that if we want to create something, why should we do something which will harm the environment? And that brought about the question. We started researching on that, who will create it for us. And we not even got one manufacturer in India who wanted to do it. So we became the first company in India to launch these shoes.
Super.
We assembled our product in China, and since then, till today, we are the first company and first and only company to make sustainable shoes.
Right.
There are many other brands who do it, but they do it as a corporate social
Right.
responsibility. They don't do it as a full-fledged business, but this is our bread and butter.
Perfect.
And we
Thank you.
To be focused on sustainability.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's going to get very difficult for me not to talk to everyone now. Definitely. Yes, Mr. Venugopal garu. You can please speak in Telugu. I understand that you're very comfortable with that language. You can please speak in that. So, what is your inspiration for especially unemployed women, and how much change have you done? If you can just tell us.
Good morning, BNI.
Good morning.
సారీ నేను తెలుగులోనే మాట్లాడతాను.
చెప్పండి.
యాక్చువల్గా నేను రూరల్ ఏరియాలో ఎక్కువ పర్యటించేవాడిని అండి. ఈ రూరల్ ఏరియాలో నిరుద్యోగ యువత ఎక్కువ ఖాళీగా ఉంటున్నారు, చదువుకుంటున్నారు, ఖాళీగా ఉన్నారు, లేకపోతే జాబ్ కోసం ట్రై చేసి ఈ జాబులో దొరక్క ఖాళీగా తిరుగుతూ ఉన్నారు. వీళ్ళకు ఏదో ఒక విధంగా స్వయం ఉపాధిలాగా ఒక చిన్న స్మాల్ బిజినెస్ లేకపోతే కొంచెం చిన్న చిన్న ఇండస్ట్రీస్ అంటే కుటీర పరిశ్రమలాగా విలేజ్లో ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేస్తే కొంతవరకు ఈ నిరుద్యోగాన్ని అరికట్టడానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుందన్న ఉద్దేశంతో దీన్నే గవర్నమెంట్ దృష్టికి తీసుకెళ్ళడం జరిగింది. సో దాన్ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి నన్ను తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ చైర్మన్గా అపాయింట్ చేశారు.
Santosham. Santosham. Thank you. So basically, he comes from a rural place and he saw that he could help many people over there, and that's how it could be done. Thank you very much. Yes, Jeevan. And I hope you're not going to take inspiration from the rest of them and make it a little longer for me. So, a big question. Who can approach for listing, and how can you approach for listing?
So, thanks. So, as we are addressing an audience which is on the SME, on the SME side, I'll dwell on this thing. So, surprisingly, any and every person can approach the SME segment.
Right.
The only requirement is you are required to have a positive net worth. And you can go right up to 25 crores to raise capital from this particular segment.
Okay.
The segment offers you a more relaxed compliance as vis-a-vis what you have on the main board. So that is one of the key features of the SME segment that either both the BSE SME as well as the NSE Emerge platform offers. Those being one of the key factors. Even the filing or the financial reporting is required to be on a half-yearly basis rather than on a quarterly basis if we are on a main board. Including, suppose let's say you are having a corporate governance, which is the most feared factor in the main board, that is not applicable for a SME sector. So this is one sector, I believe, and I think Mr. Patanjali Rao showed some statistics.
Right.
If the India as a economy needs to develop, it needs to find employments for its youth. And large number of employment can be possible only to the SME sector. So we are seeing a lot of services sector booming up, but the main production economy would need to gear up, and the MSME forms the backbone for any industry to pick up. You look at ancillary autos. Without ancillaries, autos wouldn't be doing that well. So this is the backbone, and I believe the government has recently refocused its attention on the SME sector, and this is where we would like to recalibrate even our regulations, because we want to inspire people to come and list on this section, this particular platform. There's another platform that SEBI offers that's called as the Innovators Growth Platform. So that's focused only on where you are technology specific, or you have something on the technology side and you have a VC set up with you and you want to come and list on the stock exchange, so that even the VCs also get a good exit at that point of time. So we offer both these platforms. One is the SME platform, and the regulations also provide for something called as a Innovators Growth Platform, which again is a very light touch regulation, primarily aimed at getting innovative people or these entrepreneurs onto the stock exchange listing platform, so that you can raise capital in a very efficient manner. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you very much. Mr. Anish, a question for you.
Check. Yeah, it works.
Yes. How does one approach T-Hub? And how can they give an idea if they have something big in their mind? How do you approach?
Good. So typically at T-Hub, we get approached from three elements. So two parts to that sentence. What do we offer and how do we? We engage with three kinds of startups. The first kind of startups is the startups who work out of the building, right? And at full capacity, we'll be having approximately 800 to 1,000 startups working physically out of the building.
Very nice.
Right. So for these startups and for all other startups, these startups are more closely engaged.
Right.
The second piece is the startups who we run programs for.
Okay.
We run approximately 10 programs a year And these are the program startups who come out of here. The aim is to get 20 startups per program. And that is 200 startups, high quality startups we want to pull out.
Okay.
The admission rate into our program is approximately 3%.
Oh.
So for 20 startups, we typically 800 odd applicants we get for one batch.
Okay.
Right? The third way of engaging is for any and every startup, which means anybody could call us, write to us, email us, just walk into T-Hub. Right? We have a separate division called the Community Building Department.
Okay.
Their only job is to first point of contact, which means they pick up the phone. If you're calling them, who are you, why are you, what are you, when are you, where are you, how are you, all of those
basic
questions.
Right.
Just to ensure that you're a serious guy. You're not like a 12th class kid asking for $1 million, right?
Right.
We don't want to get into that space.
Right.
So, and then we onboard you onto our system. Then we figure out what do you want. I'm looking for investment. I'm looking for mentors. I'm looking for service providers, partners, right? I'm looking for market access, right? I'm looking for any of these answers. We then take them up and we engage them accordingly. We have, each one has got a separate department. So they reroute them to what they're asking for. If they're asking for mentors,
Right.
we route them to the mentorship department,
Right.
So to leverage all of this, you could reach out, you could call to us, you could mail us, you could WhatsApp us. Maybe I'll flash my number on the screen and you can plus just give me a call. I will redirect you to the community building department and they will take
manage it from there.
There is an entire process which is streamlined to take you from there.
What is the percentage of, if you get 100 calls, at the end of it, how many end up becoming serious?
So that percentage approximately around 60%. Most of it, yeah, most of it we get calls. Some of it we get call from students final year graduation, and again they come out with really very ingenious ideas. But around 60% of them get into our database or our platform, who we keep engaging with.
Wow,
so on an average, every day we get around 12 odd mails, and every day we get approximately 15 odd calls. And there are at least 5 or 6 people who walk in every day. Just
amazing.
I don't know anybody security pe hoon sir, security se call aaya types.
Oh wow, that's nice.
So we, on an average, we engage approximately 30 to 40 startups on a daily basis.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes. Oh yes, you can give a big round. Manisha. Yes, it's unbelievable. 30 calls a day with a hit rate of 60%.
So I think a few statistics that he was mentioning, right? There are 35 startups which are getting formed every day.
Every day?
Yes, there were 12,000 startups who were registered last year.
Wow.
Which if you divide by 365, it comes to approximately 35 startups a day are getting registered today.
Wow.
In India alone. I'm talking about India alone. Our program, if you see a percentage of our program, only 30% of the startups are from Telangana. 55% are from rest of the India and 15% are from outside the country.
Okay.
So T-Hub actually, when we say global, we are going global.
Wow. You'd want to add anything to what?
This makes the T-Hub even more exciting place.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a very exciting place. I
Definitely.
mean, open invitation for anybody who wants to come and visit T-Hub. Please do give us a call. Yeah.
Super. Now, that's an inspiration. Now a second inspiration, you have to give the mic to. So another inspiration, indoor. 500 to 2,700 employees in just 8 months. How? It's so difficult. I have seen one person cannot mentor more than these many people. It's 500 to 2,700. It's an impossible task. And successful, huh? Not just the numbers. So, how? What's the magic mantra?
First of all, it was even difficult to think of that.
Exactly.
So we were very happy with around 10%. I said, companies growing at 10-15%, maybe in Indore will also grow at 10-15%. But in a meeting with IT Minister of Madhya Pradesh, he said that he would like to see better numbers. So I said, okay sir, 100% growth kar dein. Will you be happy with that? So, you will not further ask me, and Chief Minister will not announce something nasty.
They asked if you're happy.
Yeah. So he said, I'll be happy if you do 100% growth. So 500 se 1,000 kar dijiye aap ye saal. So with that I started, and as they say that when you start and then as people join, wo karwa ban jata hai. It was almost that way. And you were very right when you said it was like one person can't do it.
Yeah.
There are lots of people who help me. It's unbelievable what magic happens when we reach out to people and ask for help. I'm not hesitant to ask for help. pick a phone, call anybody and say, I need this, and very explicitly I'll state where I need help, what I need, and things would happen. And the force was so high that we couldn't stop at 1,000. We
Wow.
continued to 2,708 months, that too during COVID period.
So you're saying it's like a rolling ball. We just kept on gathering moss and coming down and down and down. That's nice.
It was phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. Wow.
And
Wow.
it also gives me a confidence about the scaling up, right? Because in Hyderabad we did 30, I joined 23 people to 40,000. So they say once you do it, it can be fluke. But
Yeah.
when you do it two times, two totally different geographies,
Yes.
then you know that you have it.
And I'm sure you have an OCD for perfection. I have this strange feeling that you have an
That's
OCD
a
for
bad
perfection.
thing to say because I hear it at home all the time.
I don't know how you-
say, Mom, you're OCD.
To manage 5 people in my house for perfection is difficult. I don't know how you managed 2,700 people. But it's amazing. Thank you. Sanjana. Aspirations for BNI Hyderabad. Any new upcoming projects or initiatives you're very excited to tell us about?
Awesome. Aspirations for BNI Hyderabad is always going to be that we want to be standing out from any other entrepreneur in the city.
Right.
From a Nawab city, I've always heard, for years you've always heard that if it's a Nawab city and nobody wakes up early, businesses start only after 12.
Right.
And here we are 11 years doing business
Yes.
at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Correct.
So our
And-
inspiration would be
Big.
changing the mindset of how entrepreneurs are in Hyderabad to what BNI entrepreneurs are.
Correct. Correct. That's nice.
We want to
Nice. Yes.
we want to compete with the standards of how entrepreneurs are globally and not how entrepreneurs are in Hyderabad. So that is something what we aspire about.
Right.
To reach the standards of entrepreneurs what are happening globally. So we learn a lot from the Western market, from the Eastern market,
Right.
From different countries that are successful,
Right.
entrepreneurs from different countries.
Right.
That's how BNI as an ecosystem helps us to meet people across the globe, learn best things from them
Right.
and start implementing.
Right.
So that will help us stand out as
Right.
entrepreneurs in our city.
Absolutely.
One thing that we aspire of doing that, and how we do that is to create events like BNI.
Right.
Projects like these help our members to think big. When we had all the stall owners meet, it was amazing to see that 60% of the people who are putting up stalls are experiencing that for the first time. So it's an opportunity that we have
Right.
created for them
Right.
to experience something new
Correct.
for growth of their business.
True.
So
Very true.
creating things like these are what
Right.
we aspire. Creating events like these is what we aspire.
Thank you. I must add one thing very interesting. I've been a part of BNI now for almost 5 years. One thing Sanjana's changed in Hyderabad is made most of the businessmen get up at 7 in the morning. Definitely. That has never happened anywhere.